In October of 1964, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel released their debut studio album, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. And it flopped. It was so initially unsuccessful that the iconic duo actually went their separate ways. But what brought them back together a little over a year later was the release of one of the songs on that album which led to their first success, The Sound of Silence. This also happens to be one of those songs that will forever define my childhood. See, my dad seemingly likes only a handful of songs, and when he gets in a mood, these songs find themselves torturously on repeat. Him singing right along, whether he knew the words or not. Despite the fact that the song was very nearly ruined for me forever, there is an incredible allure to it. See, it's intriguing and almost enchanting from the moment of its first chord. Even the title lends itself to fascination as we are presented with the contradiction of sound and silence. Yet we know all too well that silence can be deafening. It makes us uncomfortable at best. In the midst of silence, our minds jump into overdrive. One of the leading theories behind tinnitus is that the brain is compensating for the loss of the ability to hear a certain frequency. In the face of no sound, the brain almost creates a phantom ringing or buzzing to cover the noise. But not every silence is bad. Awkward, distressing, even vexing at times, but not always bad. Point of fact, we have been commemorating silence all week long. Silently, Jesus Christ rode into Jerusalem to the elated cheers of the crowd. Silently was the lamb led to the slaughter, the cacophony of the crowd screaming for blood. Silent did the Son of Promise stand before the condemnations of priest and prefect. Silent still was the king enthroned on the wood of the cross, mocking and jeers from his would-be subjects. In silence, all creation held its breath as the Creator slept the sleep of death. Silent more were the angels as the enemy trumpeted his victory. God himself was dead, put to death by the ones he came to save. And yet, for all the dissonance of that silence, the deceiver himself had been deceived. Never in his wildest imaginings could he have ever saw that it was this death that would set man free. For the silence of that rest was anything but dormant. In death, Christ triumphed over death. In death, Christ won the victory. Silently did Christ pillage hell itself, the power of our ancient foe utterly broken. And then, bemoaning his defeat, the silence of the empty tomb reverberates throughout all of history. As hell fell silent, all of heaven and earth broke out into the eternal song of salvation. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? Yet, despite the festival of adoration before the throne of the Lamb once slain, the threat of the enemy remains. He suffered a defeat, yes, but behind his walls, our enemy is ever regrouping. Because the enemy's greatest desire is to be God. Yet, for all of his wiles, he cannot create, only imitate. Which is why the one thing he wants all of us to do is to be silent. Silence defeated him, yes. The victory is assured, absolutely. But as we find ourselves in these last days, hopeful longing for the consummation of all time in our hearts, he has not given up. He will do all he can to make us embarrassed, ashamed, despondent, or even hopeless in that victory. He will revile, scold, shame, rebuke us into silence. And then the mockery is complete. The silence of the tomb replaced by the silence of the temple of the Holy Spirit. People hear without listening. People talk without speaking. However, we stand here today, celebrating today, in defiance of the enemy of our souls. As yesterday, 9 people clung to the victory of this day. And among them, 3 youths in the eyes of the world were baptized on their own initiative. Their silent witness, showing once more that the triumph of Jesus Christ re-echoes down to this present age. Their faith, their choice, their persistence is but a foretaste of the good things to come. And like the 3 youths in the fiery furnace who sung in holy rebellion against Nebuchadnezzar, these 3 young people shed a light on the darkness of our own disquiet. To see a 12-year-old and 2 13-year-olds submit to baptism and extol the greatness of the God of Jacob in such a radical way should be profoundly humbling. And I know it does me. Indeed, the witness of all 9 who were received into the church, witnessing to the truth and beauty and goodness of the Holy One of Israel, moves the soul to tears. Had not I been handed on the faith of Holy Mother Church at birth, would I have the courage to do the same? See, the great Paschal mystery, the greatest mystery in all of Christianity, finds its joy-filled completion in the silence of the tomb. This day is the reorientation of all human history. He comes back to us at the turn of the tide. But today is a choice for all of us as well. We can allow the voice of the evil one to have the last say, intimidating us into a tepid speechlessness. Or we can allow the victory of Christ to overwhelm us, a triumph louder than any flash of a neon light, one that forever split the night. And we can let our hearts be overthrown by the sound of silence.